Hey, there we go. Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started just sketching out some ideas for a spaceship. And I need to see what that kind of thing could look like. I'm in Photoshop here, and I want to kind of conceptualize, I don't know, whatever a spaceship might look like. And I'm going to just start drawing just a little bit to see what I can do. And again, this is going to be really rough, just because I'm just playing around. I'm not, doing anything super spectacular. This is my first live stream event, so just kind of goofing a little bit. Okay, so got some kind of spaceship flying here, and I do not like that at all, so I'm gonna start over. And I got too many screens here that I've got rocking. And put this on a new layer. And hang on a sec. Hey there, Devil Doc. How's the music? Is music too loud in the background? Can you hear music in the background? Okay, so let me I didn't like that idea, so I'm going to play with another one. And let's see. I know, I like the idea of like just some big massive honking engine. Some little guy out in front. Oh, this looks a little more passive, like it would be some kind of a passenger type kind of thing. I'm not sure what I'm doing, if I'm working on a some kind of a fighter or what. So let me just start anew, and let's see. I like the idea of some kind of a centralized hull. Yeah, a little transport shuttle. I want to do something kind of big and just beefy, big engines. I keep getting some feedback from my hand on my tablet here, which is a little frustrating. I think if these engines were really this big and this little of a hull, you probably wouldn't be able to see around it. So maybe I'm gonna have to like push that up a little bit and push the engines down. Let's see. I like the idea of some just kind of like thin wing type things. Maybe some hanging off the bottom too here. Of course, if this were some kind of a fighter, maybe there'd be like some rockets pointing out front. Some kind of big vents or something across the top of these engines. I don't know, maybe something like that. Could be kind of fun, right? Okay, so there we go. There's an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over to Asset Forge. And I have only had this application for a week, and I've played in it maybe an hour. So this is kind of all new to me. So I'm just playing around to see what I can do here. So I've kind of got my engine, or I've got my spaceship that I've kind of started play with and create. So what I want to do is to use the assets that I have here to kind of like try to conceptualize this spaceship. So I am going to see if I can find a whole piece that I like. And yeah, something like that. Put one on the back side too. And then I'm going to find some kind of a canopy. And I think that canopy is way too big. And that isn't centered. So let's bring that up just a touch. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Cool. All right, so going back to my concept art here, pop back over to Photoshop. So this is kind of the concept that I'm going for, and pop back over to Asset Forge and see if we can kind of work something out. I like the idea. I have the idea of the big engines, but I think I want to like have some kind of induction kind of vents or something along the side maybe. So let's see. I want to rotate these on the Z-axis. You know, I don't like that one. I want it too square. Let's try this one. Yeah, that's not too bad. So let's duplicate it, put one on this side. Cool, I'm digging that. Okay, so let's make some big engines. Let's see, I want to make these bigger, big, huge engines. Okay, so I need to rotate this. Yeah, that looks good. I think I'm gonna put these just a little bit lower. That way they're not in view of the canopy, or if you're the guy inside, you know, you're not gonna be sitting there with a huge engine to look through. So I'll go ahead and duplicate that. And it'd be good if I had it at the same level as the other one. Cool, there we go. That scene, let's see, double dock seems straightforward. Yeah, it's a model builder. So it allows me to, this is Asset Forge, it allows me to create 3D models, has a ton of different types of blocks, and you can create your own blocks in, you know, Blender or any other 3D app to bring in here to create your own kind of things. But these are just some predefined assets that you can then kind of build whatever. So that's what I'm using for the moment. Let's see. I'm gonna move those engines up just a touch. Cool. Let's add a little bit of a rear end to this thing. Let's try this one. And I need to rotate it around a different axis here. Yeah, you can make anything you can imagine you can build in this thing, which is cool. Again, I haven't had a long time with it yet, but I'm gonna play with it a little bit and see what I can do here. Move a little too far. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. So a little bit of a rocket part on the back end. And it looks like we're having some lagging issues, but we'll have to figure those out. I'm gonna just keep pushing forward. All right, so I've got some kind of a rocket firing on the back side here, these two big engines. I'm gonna make some smaller engines in the middle. And I'll use this same block here, except I'm gonna make these a little smaller. Oop. Put those in the middle of this block. Hey, thanks Devil Doc for your help. Appreciate it. Okay, so Not exactly liking this. I'll rotate this bigger block, I think, back. Okay, so I think I got to figure out exactly, let's see, hopefully that'll allow me to, there we go. So I have an issue where I could move the block and it wouldn't allow me to move it exactly where I wanted it to, so it was jumping in 1 cube increments, and I just bumped that down to half that size, so now I can kind of more finely tune the placement. And just duplicated that. So I'm gonna have the 4 of these little engines on the back here. Yeah, cool. I'm digging that. All right, so I am going back to my concept here over in Photoshop. So I need to add some kind of wings to this thing. So let's pop back over to Asset Forge and add some wings. So let's see if we can find some predefined wing assets. I don't like that one. I want something more pointy. Yeah, that works. And I'm gonna make it a lot smaller, skinnier, more aggressive. Yeah, I'm digging that. I think that might be a little bit long, so we'll shorten it up a bit. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna try to put this, let's see, I think I want to sweep this forward, so I'm gonna flip this, and I think it's that, yeah, no, that's not it. Let's undo. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay, so I want to, let's see, push this back. I'm gonna have this kind of like attached to the very back side of this engine, or the main canopy, the whole area, and I want to rotate that up. That's the wrong way. This thing only rotates in one direction, or at least that's the only way I know how. Again, I've only spent like an hour in this thing, so I'm sure there might be another way. I just don't know what that might be. I'll make that a little bit smaller, I think. Yeah, I'm digging that. So let me go ahead and duplicate this. Move that over, and then I need to flip it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, there we go, cool. All right, so now I'm gonna duplicate this, and then I wanna add some down below on the bottom part. So I'm gonna flip this. Yeah, there we go. And I think I wanna have these, I know it's probably illogical to have these attached to the engine, but why not, you know? Have these kind of out here on the outside of the engine part. Something like that, maybe. Try to get this in the same spot. And move this one forward. Yeah, that looks good. And I'm gonna put one more, I think swept back maybe. So I'll duplicate these two again. Oops. So I'll duplicate those two. And maybe have these further back, and I want to rotate these. Yeah, there we go. Back a little bit further. Maybe have these a little bit bigger. I don't like that still being attached to the engine. Maybe I'll bring it on into the hull. I think I might rotate that down too. I think I want to rotate that back. It's not the same angle as the front one. Let's see if we can figure out which axis. Yeah, that works. It's looking kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, duplicate that, move that over, and then I need to flip that. Yep, perfect. And then I just need to get it in the same position as the other wing. I think I need to move that forward. Maybe I'll move it in just a little bit. Right now it's kind of attached to that vent inlet, maybe. So I'll need to move this one in too. Cool, I like that. And then I don't like this nose being blunt, so I'm gonna add something to that. Let's try something like this. Let me move that out just a little bit. Yeah, that works kind of cool. All right, so now let's see. Do I want this to be a fighter? That's the question that I have, and I want to say yes. So I'm gonna see if I can find, let's see, blasters. So maybe I could add some kind of blocks in here that, yeah, that's kind of cool. Make that a little bit smaller. Maybe I can add some blasters in the nose here. Just a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a, see if there's like a, no, not exactly what I'm looking for. No, that's kind of a scope looking thing. I don't want that. Yeah, there we go. Cool, and we'll just scale that thing down a little bit. And it's not quite centered in that piece. And let me yeah, there we go. Cool. I like that. And then I'm going to move those both forward just a touch. So there's a little bit of offset from that nose piece. And I'm going to duplicate those two, push them over. And just a little bit further. Yeah, that's looking kind of cool. Yeah, I'm digging that. All right, so I've got kind of a basic ship, and I'm gonna go ahead and go over to the materials. Now here I can go ahead and add in kind of a look. So I don't wanna really use white, and I'm gonna change this color of this material to kind of a yellowy orange maybe. Yeah, I'm digging that. These engines, I don't like them being that color. I'm gonna create a new material, and let's have this kind of be a gray color. And then I'm also gonna add a pattern to it. And let's see. I know there's, yeah, that one. Let me just paint that there. Nope, not that pattern. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. And then, so the other engine is kind of the same. I'll do the same thing on the back end. I'll do the same thing with these little engines. Cool, I'll dig that. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of details because this thing's fairly plain still. So, let's see. I'm gonna go back to aircraft. And I think there's some kind of little greeble type things I can add to this. If you guys haven't heard of that term before, greeble, it's just like little details that you can add to models and stuff. And so that's why I just want to add some little details to kind of give you something to kind of look at. Let's scale this down just a touch. Actually, I'll just move it down. So it's not quite as high. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Cool, I'm digging it. All right, so now let's see. I'm gonna add just, I don't know, something. Maybe this is like a fueling cap or something. Except I want to make it really small, or a lot smaller. I don't want to make everything symmetrical so that, you know, left and right are exactly the same. I want to have a little bit of difference between different types of objects that are on the model. And yeah, I'm digging that. I think I also want to make these kind of like air intake things a different color. So I'll make a new material for those. Oops, not grid. Let's see. I want to make a new material. And nope, just the wrong thing there. Maybe I'll go ahead and choose the same pattern thing. Just make these, you know, we can make them like a deep red. I like that. Maybe a little more orangey. Just kind of go with the yellow theme a little bit better. Something kind of deep. A little more saturated. Yeah, that works. So we'll paint those two. And I think the front of this hole needs something, but not that. Let's see, I want to go back and just add a little more detail to this thing. Let's see what all is in here. Hey, this kind of vent looking thing, that can be kind of cool. except I think I'm going to rotate it so it's kind of the louvers are facing back, maybe. Yeah, cool. I like that. And then I want to make it smaller. And then I'm going to rotate it, I think, on this axis. Yeah, that works. Except it's going in the wrong direction. And currently this is rotating by 5 degrees, which is a little annoying. I can change that, but that kind of works for me for the moment. I'm gonna inset that just a little bit further. Yeah, cool, I'm digging that. All right, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna paint that a different color. So I'm gonna create a new material. And maybe I will use white. Or maybe I'll go ahead and use a dark gray, almost black. Yeah, that's cool. Now I also think I want to make this nose that color too. I think that might be a little dark. I'm gonna go a new material and just make that just a little bit lighter. Oops, let's see, I want this to be this material. Yeah, there we go. Cool, I'm digging that. And I don't like this yellow on the back side, so I'll make that dark too. Oops, I want this to be that. Actually, I'm gonna make these engines that dark color maybe. Make a new material. Make that a little bit darker, and for some reason I can't select that engine cowling. I'm not sure why I can't select that. There we go. Let's try this now. Nope. Maybe I'll pull it out and try to change it and put it back. Yeah, there we go for some reason. Oh, there's 2 of them. Okay. Somehow I duplicated that twice in there. Make sure we get it in the right spot. Like there to be a little bit of space. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Cool. I don't know, I think I'm gonna call that done for now. And then now I want to go ahead and take this into Unity and then make this look like it's flying in space. So I need to go ahead and save this and find a spot to stick it. Test. And then I need to export it. So I'm going to export my model, and I'm going to export it for Unity. So the format, let's see, go to Unity for the preset and export this and call this fighter. Cool. All right. So now I need to go to Unity and hopefully, let's see. There we go. So now I'm in Unity and I need to bring my model into Unity. So I'm going to add a new folder for models. And I need to drag that over into Unity. So let me find where I saved that file at. So here's my fighter. I'm just dropping it in that models folder, and then I'm just going to drag that into my main scene, and here we go. Cool. So here's my model. I'm in Unity, and yeah, there we go. I'm digging that. Cool. All right, so I'm going to take my camera, and I'm currently it's facing around, so I'm going to rotate my spaceship towards the camera, a little bit offset, and then let's see what we're seeing in game view. And I think I'm going to rotate my camera up as well, or rotate it down and move it up. And then move it towards the ship a little bit. Yeah, cool. All right, that looks good. All right, so now I've got a directional light, which I'm going to take the intensity of that down so that I can add in some special lights. So I'm going to add in light and a spotlight. And this will take, or not a spotlight, I don't want a spotlight, I want a point light. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Move that into my ship here. Yeah, I'm digging that. All right, so the other thing that I need to do is I want to make this thing in space, right? It's kind of needs to be in space, so let's do that. So first I need to go to the camera, and I'm going to take the, let's see, I'll change the skybox to a solid color and make that black. And then I might need to make some adjustments to the point light because I can tell you it's a little bit too light, so I'm going to bump up the intensity just a little bit. Yeah, that works. All right, so now I need to kind of add some effects. So I'm going to add a particle effect that's first going to make it look like stars are flying by. So I'm going to add a particle effect. So effect, particle system. And I want to change what this particle shape is. So from a cone to a rectangle maybe. Or let's do it to a, let's see. Yeah, rectangle's fine. I just need to rotate this. Make that a negative 180 degrees. Now I'm going to make it way bigger. So let's change the scale of this. Actually, I'm going to go and do that down in the shape itself. So let's go 40 by 40. Yeah, that works. And then I need to have it be the same angle as the ship itself so that the ship looks like it's moving forward. So the ship angle is axis 137 on the y-axis. I'm going to do the same thing with the particle system. And I want to name this thing. So I'm going to call this stars, particles. Cool. And then I'm going to rotate that so that is 137. And currently it is behind the spaceship, so I need to put that so where it's in front of the spaceship. So let's rotate this around. I'm going to move this this way. And of course that's a little bit too far maybe. So let's move it back. And currently the particles are lasting for 5 seconds on screen. So let's go to start lifetime and I'll just bump those up to maybe like 20. So there we go, that's kind of working. I want to move this over a little bit. And I think I need to make the scale bigger. So let's go 80 by 80. Cool. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I think I'm going to take the, let's see, start lifetime. Let's go start speed. So currently the speed of each of the stars is 5, a speed of 5. I'm going to make that random between 2 constants. So I'm going to have some move slower. Let's say like 2. And then I'll bump some up to be way faster. So let's say maybe 20. So some will move fast, some will move slow. So it's going to appear a little more natural, I think. I could probably even bump that up a little bit more. Let's maybe 40. Yeah, I'm digging that even better. And then the other thing is, like, all of them are exactly the same size. So I'm going to randomize the size of those too. So currently I have a start size of 1. And I'm going to go random between 2 constants again. I like that. So start size 1 is fine. Or let's go down to like maybe 0.2. So some are little teeny tiny things. And then I'm going to have some be a lot bigger. So maybe 3. Maybe even bigger than that. Let's go 5. Not too big. Let's go 2. And then currently it's emitting a default of 10 of these particles every second. So I'm going to bump that up to maybe 20 particles a second. Maybe even go further than that. Let's just ramp this thing up even further. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that. That works. Let's just make it a round number. Let's go 40. Cool. I'm digging that. All right. Let's see. What else? Oh, I need to make the engines do something. So, all right. So let's go back to our spaceship. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I need to make these engines look like they're firing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another particle system. And let's see. Effects particle system. And we'll call this engine. And I think I'm just going to mainly try to use the default particle system instead of like creating custom graphics, which I can do. Just see what I can do with the default stuff. And I know that I'm going to need to rotate this. So not rotate on that axis. Let's see. Z-axis maybe. Nope, that's not it. There we go. And then I need to rotate this so that it's going in the same direction as the ship. So let's kind of zoom in here so we can get the right angle. And I think that should be just the same thing that we did before with a Y of 137. Nope. Let's see. What, negative? Nope. That's not it either. Well, we'll just kind of rotate around until it's about where we need it to be. And we'll rock that. We can always modify it as we go. Cool. And then the shape cone is fine. I want, instead of the rocket engine kind of like spreading out, I want to keep it kind of nice and tight. So I am going to take the angle and take that down to 0. So that's looking okay, I think. Now let's just zoom in a little bit. Move this over. I want to have that looping. I'm going to pre-warm. Pre-warm, just for if you want to know, pre-warm is just where, like, once the game starts, the engine is already firing versus like the particles, you know, coming across. They're already across. So that's what pre-warm is. And then now I need to, let's see, make this thing smaller. Let's go scale 0.5, 0.5. That's even too big, I think. Let's go 0.2. Oops. Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think. And then we can change the emission to be a lot more. So let's go like 100. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. And then currently right now, the particles, they're lasting for 5 seconds at the speed that they're going, but that's a little bit too long, I think. So I'm gonna change the start lifetime. I'm gonna, again, do the random between two constants. Let's go from maybe 1 second to 2 seconds. Yeah, it's a little bit better. The other thing is I kind of want to move this engine or this particle effect to be in where the engine's at. And now I can really see that the rotation is off. We can fix that here. Let's see. That's a little bit better. And we need to move it up. And try to get it into the spot where the engine's at. Yeah, I think you need to move it down just a touch. Cool. I think that works. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, start speed I think is fine. I think I'm going to take this down even further. So 0.5 to 1.5. Yeah, that looks good. And I think I'm going to change the speed to the start speed. Let's see. Yeah, let's change that. Random between two constants. Let's go from 5 to maybe 10. So it's going a little bit faster, maybe 7 to 10. And then I think I'm going to change, because the lifetime is going a little bit longer, I'm going to make those just a little bit, the lifetime a little bit shorter, so that the engine's not firing as far back. Let's go maybe just 1. Yeah, cool. Then I think I'm going to go into, let's see, color over lifetime. So what the color of those engine particles are. So let's see. I'm going to change this to a kind of a blue color, because our rocket is kind of orange. I'm going to go just the opposite and go kind of a blue color. And I'll have that be the back end too. But then I'm going to have it fade out. So I've got the alpha, the transparency of the rocket. So now it should start to kind of fade out. And I might move that transparency up just a little bit. And I think there's not enough particles, so I'm going to bump that up to, let's say, 300. Gosh, even more than that. How about 1,000? 10,000, too much. Let's go 500. Yeah, that's not too bad. And then those particles, I think, are a little bit on the big side. So let's change the size of those. So start size of 1, let's take that maybe down to, let's say 0.5. Maybe bump that up just a touch, 0.7. That's not too bad. Cool, I like that. And then, you know, this engine is like trying to create some thrust, right? And it's going to create a little bit of light. So I need a little light source to go with that. So let's go with adding in a new light. And I'm gonna make that a point light. And I'll add that to the back side of the engine. I'll move that down here. And then I'll change the color of that so it's the same color as the engine. There we go. So now we're kind of lighting up the back of the spaceship blue. Yeah, that kind of works. And then, yeah, that's not too bad. It's kind of a little bubbly looking, but for what it is, I think it looks kind of cool. So I'm gonna parent that to the engine particle system, and then I'm gonna duplicate this and move it over for the other engine. And then let's kind of make sure it's in the same spot or the right spot. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And then I've got those little engines. Let's duplicate this again. And the question is, do I want one particle system for those that's the same, or do I want something else that's different? And I think I'm just gonna leave them the same. Let's see, but I'm gonna make the size a lot smaller. Start size, let's go 0.2. And then I'm gonna bump the emission of those up further. 1,000, and let's change the lifetime from 0.6 to maybe 2. Yeah, that's not too bad. All right, so let's see, what else can we do for this thing? I want to, gosh, I don't know if I really like that. I think I want to bump those, size those back up. Gosh, I think the speed's way too slow too. Let's go start speed. Let's go 10 to 20 maybe. That's not too bad. And I think I'm going to take the point light on that and move it up so it gets just a little bit more of the engine on the top of the back right there. So I'm going to move that up just to give a little more influence. Yeah, cool. I like that. And maybe move that back just a touch. Cool. All right, so I'm going to add all of these into one game object. So I'm going to make that into engine particles. And I didn't spell that right. Particles. Put those all together. That way they all kind of fire at the same time. Cool. I'm digging that. Let's see, what else can we do? I can maybe add like some kind of little thing, maybe in this louver area, or maybe just like something that's on the cowling here of the hull. Make a little particle system for that. So effects, particle system. I'll start out with this, again, the same particles. And let's see. See, shape, instead of a cone, I'm gonna make an edge. So they're kind of emitting along the edge of this. And then I want to kind of move this to my ship. Kind of get in the right spot here so we can see it. And let's rotate this. Oops, not scale, that's what I did, the wrong thing. Rotate. And I'll make these, I don't want these to go anywhere because I want them to just appear like they're lights kind of like blinking down the hull. So maybe I will change the speed to 0. So start speed to 0. And I'll make these a lot smaller. So the start size, let's go to 0.2. And let's see, let's get so we can actually see these things. Move it down so it looks like it's on the hole. And rotate these. And that's way too long, so let's go with the X scale smaller. And we're going to do the emission to be shorter because I only want there to be, let's say, 4 lights. And then I need to change the mode from random to loop. And then the lifetime of these, let's go 0.2. And that is rotating in the, or going forward. I want it to go backwards, so I just need to rotate this the opposite direction here. See what that looks like. Currently, I think it's inside the hole, maybe. Way down. Let's see, what do we do with it here? And for some reason I can't see it. What did I do? Did I change the size too small? Let's see, scale. Oh, there we go. No, that should be right. So let's restart. Okay, for some reason I'm not seeing that, so I'm gonna start that one over. Effects, particle system. Get that to where it's around our ship here. For some reason I'm not seeing my particles. Well, so there we go. We have some technical difficulties. But I think I'm just gonna call that good for now. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. And my camera just went out. So again, having some technical difficulties. I took a little bit longer than I thought I was, and I'm using my phone as my camera and it just died. So again, I've got some things I need to figure out for my live streams, but this is the ship. I am going to go ahead and save this model, post it up along with the YouTube video. So anybody who wants to use this model, 3D model, you can download it and use it in your project to your heart's content. Anyway, that's all I have for this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and that little bell icon so you know when the next video is available. And stay tuned because I'm going to have more live streams. All right, thanks guys.